Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. There's been some serious buzz swirling around the NFL, and the Steelers fans are definitely going to want to pay close attention. Rumors are swirling about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the landscape of the AFC North and, honestly, have ripple effects across the entire conference. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Cincinnati Bengals, currently in the midst of a rebuild, might be open to dealing one of their most explosive offensive talents, Jamar Chase. That's right, the same Jamar Chase who's been lighting up defenses with his speed and big play ability could be on the move. And if this deal happens, it could be a game changer, especially for the Steelers. Now, let's break down what's going on with Chase and why this could be a perfect storm for Pittsburgh. The Bengals are sitting at a 4-9 record in 2025, and their defense has been leaking points all season, surrendering around 28 points per game. Their locker room is dealing with some cap issues, about $11 million in space, and they're also trying to rebuild their offensive line, which has been rated at PFF 58. 3, pretty much below average. Chase, on the other hand, is demanding a big payday, around $30 million a year, and a trade would free up about $23 million in cap space for Cincinnati. The problem is, losing Chase would be a huge blow to their offense, especially since he's been one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the league. Chase's career stats are pretty eye-popping. He's got 486 catches for over 400 yards and 51 touchdowns, averaging about 87. 5 yards per game, making him the second most prolific in NFL history behind only Justin Jefferson. Even with injuries that sidelined him for some games in 2025, Chase still managed to rack up 91 receptions, over 0 yards and 5 touchdowns. His PFF grade last year was an impressive 91. 2. And advanced stats like EPA per target and yards after catch show just how much he can impact a game. His explosive plays, averaging 6.2 yards after the catch, are what make him a true X-factor, especially when he's healthy and at his best. Remember, in Week 2, he put up 10 receptions for 149 yards, showcasing his ability to take over games when needed. And let's not forget how Chase's presence elevates the entire offense. In 2025, he's been hampered by injuries, tweaked his knee in Week 4, missed a couple of games, but then returned with a vengeance, posting 120 yards against the Ravens. That kind of performance reminds Steelers fans of the impact DK Metcalf had in 2025 when he boosted the Seahawks' aerial attack by over 200 yards per game. Chase's ability to stretch the field and create big plays changes how defenses have to game plan, opening up opportunities for others and making the offense more unpredictable. That's exactly what Pittsburgh needs right now, especially with their passing game stagnating at around 220 yards per game. So why would Cincinnati consider trading Chase? Well, it's about cap management and rebuilding priorities. They have some key extensions to consider like Hendrickson, and their offensive line is a work in progress, with a PFF grade of just 58. 3. Since Chase is demanding around $30 million annually, trading him could save Cincinnati roughly $23 million in cap space, allowing them to focus on rebuilding a more balanced roster. But it's a risky move. Losing Chase would weaken their offense considerably, and they'd be betting heavily on their ability to rebuild quickly. Some skeptics believe that trading away an elite playmaker like Chase could set them back further, similar to what the Browns faced after losing Beckham, stuck in mediocrity with a rebuild that takes years. Now, that's where it gets really interesting for the Steelers. Pittsburgh currently sits at a solid 9-5 record, but their offense has been a bit of a mixed bag, averaging around 220 passing yards per game, which isn't enough to truly contend at the highest level. Adding Chase into the mix would be like pouring rocket fuel on their attack. Imagine a scenario where Chase joins forces with quarterback Russell Wilson. The impact could be seismic. We're talking about a potential increase of around 15% in EPA per pass, which translates to roughly 200 projected passing yards over the remainder of the season. That's a massive boost, especially considering how much Chase can stretch defenses and create big plays. His ability to generate yards after the catch, averaging 6.2 yards, would give Pittsburgh a true deep threat and a reliable target on third down. Think about the ripple effect. The Steelers' offense would become more explosive, forcing defenses to respect the deep ball and opening up running lanes for Najee Harris, who's already rushed for over 100 yards this season. Harris's run game would thrive even more with play action, and the threat of Chase stretching the field would keep defenses honest. Plus, the Steelers' defense, which has been playing lights out with 12 sacks and 8 interceptions, would get even more support from an offense that's now capable of controlling the clock and dictating tempo. The team's special teams and overall chemistry would benefit from having such a dynamic weapon, too. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could propel the Steelers into serious Super Bowl contention. As of now, their odds to win Super Bowl LXI hover around +6-0, which isn't great. But if Chase becomes a Steelers, those odds could plummet to around +2,500, especially with him as a key piece in the playoffs. His presence would give Pittsburgh a much-needed boost in aerial matchups against powerhouses like the Chiefs and Bills. In a loaded AFC, having a player like Chase transforms the team from a good playoff contender into a real contender, capable of making deep runs and possibly winning it all. Think about how Stefon Diggs elevated the Bills' chances in 2020. Chase could have a similar impact, raising the Steelers' odds from +10-0 to +3-0 with his playoff performance. What makes this even more intriguing is the potential long-term impact. Pittsburgh has been building towards something special, and acquiring a young superstar like Chase could be the piece that cements their dynasty aspirations. Pairing him with Wilson, who's shown flashes of brilliance this season, would be reminiscent of a modern-day Montana-Rice duo, with Chase serving as the ultimate playmaker and Wilson as the experienced quarterback threading him the needle. It's a blueprint for sustained success, especially in an era of parity where every game counts. Of course, all of this hinges on whether Cincinnati pulls the trigger, but if they do, the Steelers should be ready to pounce. This isn't just about acquiring a talented receiver, it's about shifting the entire balance of power in the AFC North and beyond. With Chase on their roster, the Steelers could become a true Super Bowl favorite, capable of competing with the best in the league. It's a move that could redefine their season and set them up for a deep playoff run, possibly even a championship. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Steelers Nation? Is this the kind of move that can push Pittsburgh over the top? Do you believe that acquiring Chase would be the missing link to a Super Bowl run? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and let's get a conversation going. This is the kind of bold move that could define the Steelers' future, and I personally believe that in the right system, Chase could be the guy to help us finally bring another ring home. Keep your eyes on this story, because if Cincinnati entertains trading Chase, it could set off a chain reaction that changes everything we've known about the AFC. Stay tuned, stay loud, and as always, let's go Steelers.